The first step to an effortless, efficient freestyle is to feel weightless in the water. The comfort that results lets you choose the most efficient stroke length and tempo and make every stroke count. It also makes every stroke a pleasure. Lesson 1 teaches you to achieve balance, comfort, and confidence by using, instead of fighting, gravity. Feeling weightless will save energy and help you master every advanced skill with greater ease and speed. Just gliding sends powerful signals to your muscles and brain about using weightlessness to save energy. First, rehearse shoulder-width arms and relaxed hands. Then push off and see how far you can glide without kicking, even if your legs sink. Your sole focus is to relax and sink into support. Repeat several times, relaxing more and gliding farther each time. You'll learn that relaxing increases your buoyancy. Relax your head between your shoulders and extend from fingers to toes without strain. Feel the water flow smoothly around your long, sleek body line. Repeat until you feel a head-to-toe streamline without tension. In a shallow area, see how few push-offs it takes you to get across. I streamlined well enough to cross this 20-meter pool in just 3 push-offs. Next, add a gentle kick. Push off and glide until you feel support. Begin kicking just enough to support your legs. In this position, think of kicking as a kind of active streamline. A water-churning, knee-bending kick wastes energy and increases drag and turbulence, which you can see in the bubbles around my legs. Use a quiet, small, unhurried flutter. If you lose momentum, push off again, kicking only as needed to sustain a lazy glide. In this step, you'll learn to align head and spine and move that line like a laser beam through the water. Leading with your laser, arms at your sides, will highlight how head position influences balance. Rehearse having arms tucked inside your body line. This aligns you better than when your arms are outside. As your glide slows, pull your arms back and begin kicking. Hold position, kicking gently until you need a breath. Release your head to a gravity-neutral position. Don't push it down, just let it go until you feel the water support it. Once there, focus on your laser beam, a projection of your head-spine line. It should always point where you're going. Once or twice, raise your laser beam to feel how balance is affected. Then release your head and feel easy balance return. Push off and glide. As you pull back, drop a shoulder toward your chin, keeping your head stable. Rotate just enough for your shoulder to clear the surface. This is core balance position. Practice on both sides until you consistently rotate just enough for your shoulder to clear the surface. To sense too much rotation, roll to a stacked shoulders position. Then return to just enough rotation. When you roll too far, it takes more work, leaves you less stable, and adds unnecessary time to each stroke cycle. The rotation you imprint here will be the same you use in every drill that follows and in whole stroke. In whole stroke, a key skill will be to breathe mostly with body rotation and less with head turn. We'll begin imprinting that now. Rehearse the breath this way first. Keep your laser aimed forward and one goggle wet. When you breathe in core balance, stay focused on your laser. Lead rotation with your hips and keep head and spine aligned. This makes rotation smoother and easier. We call this breathing position sweet spot because it's so comfortable. Relax your head into gravity and maintain a torpedo shape as you rotate up and back down. Bubble lightly from your nose between breaths to reduce breathlessness. Practice until your breathing is unhurried and relaxed, even lazy, to both sides. Your goal isn't just to get air, but to minimize turbulence as you rotate up and down. A measure of the comfort this lesson should teach is that you can breathe like this, with hands on thighs, not sculling. Lesson 2 will teach you to slip the longest, sleekest, most fish-like body line through the water to minimize drag and turbulence, to swim farther and faster, easier. The drag-reducing skating position you imprint here should become integral to every practice drill and every freestyle stroke you take from here on. Next, you'll reduce drag by lengthening your body line. Your first time, rehearse extending a relaxed hand on the track you set during prone glides. Then, from core balance position, extend your arm and hang your hand. Kick gently as you memorize how it feels. Then stand and repeat on the other side. Skating position is the foundation of efficient freestyle. Patience and refining the details will help you travel farther and feel better on every stroke. Allow hours of practice to memorize the critical sensations and months, even years, to turn them into unbreakable habits. First, recheck that your head is hanging gravity neutral with your laser pointing forward. Hang your extended hand just outside your shoulder line. Initially, it will feel most natural to have it in front of your nose. It takes concentration to keep it in front of your shoulder. Heighten your sense of horizontal or x-axis hand position by sliding your hand to the center, then back outside. Noticing where nose and shoulder go as you do. Your nose should point down and your shoulders should be unstacked. Recheck that your shoulder barely clears the surface. It takes core muscle to hold this position. Rotate to stacked shoulders, then back to just enough rotation to better sense the difference. Next, heighten your awareness of vertical or y-axis hand position and relaxation. Lift your fingers toward the surface. Your laser beam goes with them. Then reach toward the bottom, before returning it forward again. Repeat these experiments until the optimal hand depth is clear. When you find your best position, extend the front of your wrist forward a few millimeters, feeling your body line lengthen. Choosing and imprinting the optimal hand location in skating is truly consequential. Your hand should spear to this exact position in every practice drill and every freestyle stroke you take from here on. Finally, take care to keep your elbow inside your body line. When it pulls back, it will pull your hip and shoulder too far around, which will make you unstable in subsequent drills. Skating deserves countless hours of imprinting and refining because it's the essential foundation of a slippery, low-drag freestyle. Allot plenty of time to imprint each critical focal point. Hang your head and check that your laser points forward. Memorize and imprint hand position. Just outside your shoulder line with fingers tipped down and wrists slightly below elbow. Always relaxed, never stiff. Memorize this as a target to which your hands will always spear. Check that your shoulder is barely above the surface with core engaged to hold your position. Align yourself from torso to toes behind your arm. Feel a sense of tone, not slack but not tense, in your body line. Patiently imprinting these details now will allow you to focus on other points in drills that follow. After you've familiarized with all skating focal points, reintroduce breathing. This rehearsal may ease the way. Keep your laser pointing forward, the back of your head against your shoulder, and one goggle wet. If breathing is difficult, Sweet Spot can help. Roll to where you're comfortable. Pause as long as you wish to relax and breathe freely. Then return to your best skating position and recheck focal points. As I rotate up, my lead hand turns up and floats up. As I rotate down, I return to a fingers down track position. Imprint so you can repeat this precise action in the drills that follow. To learn advanced breathing, practice nodding your head sideways in skating. If normal head position is 0 degrees, practice nodding to about 90 degrees in small steps. Or look sideways just below the surface, noticing how close the air is. Explore how little movement it takes to breathe. Then practice breathing with minimal rotation. Give close attention to your hand. Keep it relaxed, weightless, and on a wide track. After each breath, review all skating details. Returning to this exact position after you breathe in the drills that follow is essential to effective practice. In Lesson 3, you'll move dynamically from your best streamline on one side to the same position on the other, from right skating to left and back again. These steps will help prepare you. First, rehearse with feet on the bottom. Keep your shoulder just above the water and your extended hand hanging on its track as you sneak the other hand to your goggles. Hold for a few moments to memorize. Then repeat several times before doing it on the other side. Then try it in skating position, taking a moment to recheck focal points. Sneak your hand forward. Keep your elbow close and follow the track. Pause at your goggles to check that your shoulder and hip are up. Hold there, kicking lightly with your lead hand hanging on its track, long enough to register how this feels. Notice that my left arm remains on its track. Avoid this common error. As my left hand comes forward, that shoulder drops. Keep the hip and shoulder up as shown here. Ready to release power with a well-timed hip drive. After imprinting this position for a full breath, deepen its imprint by moving your hand forward several times. Hit the same position each time. After several repeats, finish with a switch and check your skating focal points before standing. Repeat the same sequence on the other side. On one length, you can start with core balance. Breathe once while bubbling steadily. Transition to skating. Breathe again while bubbling. Rehearse arm recovery. Breathe, then do one switch. Skating on the other track, breathe once. Breathe again. Rehearse the recovery. Then recover, pause, and switch once. Stand to breathe and switch the other way. Lesson 3 shifts from passive to active streamline. Minimize drag and turbulence by spearing your entire body line through holes opened by your arms. You'll also learn to use weight shifts to propel you through those holes effortlessly. In a spear switch, you'll move smoothly from one streamlined track position to the other, using your lead arm to hold your place. A crucial skill will be learning to hit your marks. Spearing right to the hand targets you imprinted in Lesson 2. This will reduce drag and improve propulsion. It's easiest to start with one correct switch. Pause and streamline and visualize your target. Then drive your hand to it and pause to check that you're streamlined from fingers to toes. Stand and repeat the other way. Add more switches only when you consistently finish with your body aligned behind your arm on the track with just enough rotation. This shows the effect of a common error. When my left elbow swings behind me, I shoot off the tracks. When my left arm finishes outside my body line, I spear straight ahead. After consistently doing one accurate switch each way, progress to two pause switch. Pause at your goggles to visualize your target. Pause in skating to check hand location, head position, and rotation. Two pause switch is ideal for honing critical details. Spear to a consistent hand target on the track with fingers down. Align yourself, fingers to toes, on the right track, then on the left track. Finally, use your high hip to drive your arm to its fingers down catch. Take care to avoid these errors. Switching to the center line or rotating to stacked shoulders wastes energy and leaves you unstable. Instead, rotate just enough and finish on the tracks. A stiff hand usually scoops up. This hurts balance and your ability to grip the water. Instead, spear a relaxed hand so your palm faces back with wrist below elbow. Spearing too deep submerges your head, making breathing difficult. Instead, spear so the front of your wrist goes forward, moving you forward instead of down. Two-pause switch is ideal for eliminating errors and imprinting good habits. Use sweet spot breathing if you need more air, more time to think and plan, or to increase comfort. After each breath, pause a moment to check your streamline before resuming. If you're comfortable doing so, use rhythmic breathing to prepare for whole stroke. Be mindful to keep a patient lead hand. Progress to one pause spear switch when your movements and timing start to feel natural. This version of spear switch moves you closer to the continuous rhythms of whole stroke. Eliminate the skating pause, but continue to pause at your goggles. While practicing this, focus strongly on a patient lead hand and a hip-driven switch. Pausing at the goggles helps make each switch a powerful, coordinated, whole-body movement. Rhythmic switches prepare you for whole stroke rhythms, but be very patient about eliminating pauses. Focus intently on keeping a patient lead hand. Switch only as the other hand passes your goggles. Moving the lead hand early, as shown here, will wear out your arm muscles. Holding your grip until hip drive spears your other hand past it is essential to swimming with your body, saving energy and increasing power. Then segue to rhythmic switches with more awareness of using hip drive to power your switches. You'll need to grab a quick bite of air as the surface closes over your mouth. A patient lead hand is key to holding form on this breath. My hand is relaxed, my fingers are down, and it stays there until I drive the opposite hip. Learning this breathing style now can ease your transition to swimming later. One arm switch requires great body control but will teach you to use your hips. Use the left hip to drive your left hand to its target. Drive the right hip to pull it back. Repeat this using the right arm. Then segue to rhythmic switches with more awareness of using hip drive to power your switches. Switch once on one side. Stand and return to the wall, switching the other way. Switch and feel your momentum in skating before switching again. As I do these extended glide spear switches, I kick light but steady. Here I practice a very deliberate two-pause switch with a steady kick. This is a one-pause switch with a steady kick and semi-continuous breathing. These are fully rhythmic switches with a two-beat kick. This is a mixed kick, light flutter between switches, two-beat during them. These are fully rhythmic switches with a two-beat kick. On these left arm switches, I pause my kick to coordinate with the spear, but flutter lightly otherwise. On these rhythmic switches, I flutter lightly but streamline my legs for a moment as I finish each switch. On the next length, I combine light flutters with a relaxed two-beat as I switch. I flutter easily to maintain momentum while breathing, then revert to a two-beat kick as I resume rhythmic switches. I pause the kick to feel momentum before rolling up to breathe. This is how I practice most often. Fully rhythmic switches and breathing with a 2-beat kick, bringing my drill practice as close as possible to how I swim whole stroke. Lesson 4 will add power and grace to your switches by converting hip drive into effortless propulsion. More speed from less work equals the perpetual motion stroke. Zen switch drills pattern a recovery that connects core power to both pull and kick. You'll learn to recover on tracks and to spear your hand to its target at a steep, clean angle. Zen skating is the most valuable freestyle balance and alignment drill. It imprints the optimal arm position for balance, a clean entry, and to convert core power into propulsion. Rehearse first with feet on the bottom. Inch your arm forward with hands submerged. Lead with your elbow. Pause with forearm hanging from the elbow in front of your ear. Memorize this feeling, then retrace the pattern several more times. Be aware of these possible errors. A cramped recovery feels strained. A wider one is more relaxed. Holding your hand outside takes more muscle than hanging it from your elbow. It also diverts energy in the wrong direction. Reaching too far will reduce power transfer from hip drive. A steeper drive will concentrate power. Next, practice in skating position. Again, take care to avoid common errors. Instead of a cramped recovery, follow wider tracks with just the crook of your arm above the surface. Contrast how it feels to lift your elbow versus swing it. Lifting leads to a cramped recovery. Avoid overreaching. Pause your hand just forward of your goggles. Imprint the right position by holding it for a long breath. When the feeling registers, then move through recovery several times on one breath. After a pause, add a switch. Practice Zen skating often to imprint these focal points. Draw your arm forward deep and slow. Follow wide tracks. Lead with your elbow, letting your hand yield to water pressure. Hang your forearm like a rag doll. Feel effortless balance as you pause. Zen switch is the drill that's most like whole stroke and one you should always practice. Zen switch connects hip drive to your arm stroke and reinforces a patient, firm catch. It can also help you learn the 2-beat kick. Early in your practice, it's a good idea to pause at your goggles, do one switch, and enjoy its momentum. This reveals the effortless power of hip and leg drive. Don't add more switches until you consistently do one well. Then progress to 3 or more uninterrupted switches. Focus on these skills one at a time before including the breath. Pause at goggles, lead hand anchored. Then switch both hands at once. Draw your relaxed arm forward super slowly and very wide. Keep your elbow high as you spear to your target. Once again, take care to avoid these common errors. Instead of a cramped recovery, use a wider yet compact recovery. Don't overreach. Instead, enter at a steep angle. To learn a 2-beat kick, pause your kick when you pause at the goggles. Drive the opposite foot as you spear. After eliminating the pause at goggles, move through there deliberately to improve balance and timing. In Zen Switch, it's best to practice a rhythmic, continuous breath without interrupting your recovery. This means taking a quick bite of air as your mouth resubmerges. A stable lead hand is the key to control. My hand is relaxed, my palm is back, and it stays anchored until I finish breathing. I imprint one Zen skate, take a breath, then do singles, gliding to feel momentum after each. I streamline my legs to test stability as I glide to the wall. These are full rhythm Zen switches without breathing to imprint switch timing. After a breath, I continue using a 2-beat kick. I keep my arms relaxed and synchronize leg beat with each switch. Leaving out breathing lets me concentrate on switch and kick timing. I introduce semi-continuous breathing, not sweet spot, with a long momentum glide before each breath. Finally, I progress to fully rhythmic switching and breathing with a 2-beat kick. I practice a soft hand and arm, yielding to water pressure on the back of my hand. This is how I most often practice Zen switches, creating the closest possible connection to whole stroke. A relaxed, compact recovery is essential to effective energy transfer and fluid, efficient swimming. The skills you imprint in Lesson 5 are more exacting than in any prior lesson. Because the difference between just right and not quite can be so subtle, we'll use rehearsal exercises and mindful swimming to heighten awareness. To allow undistracted focus on the fine points of recovery, it's best to breathe less often until you can feel these subtle changes taking hold. Using comparison video will illustrate common recovery errors and how they undermine your efficiency. When your elbow comes back and your shoulders stack, you feel unstable, like walking a tightrope. You also waste time and energy by rotating too far. In an effective recovery, the arms and elbows stay outside the body line, acting like outriggers. You feel more stable, rotate just enough, save energy, and swim faster. On the left, my left elbow pulls me backward and forces my right arm to the center. On the right, I have lateral symmetry and a strong lever from right wrist to left elbow. This connects core power to my arms. Here, a wide sweeping recovery sends the entry and momentum across my line of travel. This is often exaggerated as you breathe. In an effective recovery, the hand follows a straight line from exit to entry, sending momentum forward. And as the right view shows, when my left hand travels directly forward, it's in the best position to begin the next stroke. Overreaching is the most common recovery error. It not only hurts efficiency, it also leads to shoulder injury by putting pressure on the shoulder in an unstable, fully extended position. When the hand enters closer to the head and at a steeper angle, the hand goes in more cleanly and delivers the full power of hip drive. In the top view, hip drive will mainly depress the elbow with little power going to the stroke. In the bottom view, hip drive will spear the hand to its target and propel the body through the sleeve created by the spearing arm. We'll start by imprinting a compact recovery with fingertips barely clearing the surface. We call it ear hops. Start by educating one arm. Keep the connection with Zen Switch by dragging your knuckles initially. Coming forward in stages can help you keep your forearm vertical and relaxed. Then drag your fingertips. Finally, rehearse with your fingertips just millimeters from the surface. When your muscles get the message, progress to bilateral ear hops. Start with wrist drag, then knuckle drag, and finally fingertip drag. Visualize an imaginary bar coming from your ear. Hop over it and in. Make your ear hop brief and minimal, but distinct enough to imprint in muscle memory. Transition to swimming with ear hops, again sequencing from wrist drag to knuckle drag to fingertips before lifting just enough to hop over your ear and in. Notice how little my entry disturbs the water. Being this relaxed will allow you to imprint more ear hops before pausing to breathe. A relaxed, inertial recovery transfers energy momentum from one stroke directly into the next. To imprint this, draw circles in the air with your elbow, using your shoulder as the axis. Keep the circle free moving and away from your body. After the elbow circling sensation imprints, focus on that feeling while swimming a short distance. After circling your left elbow, focus only on that arm while swimming. Then rehearse and focus on circling the right elbow. This imprints wide, straight recovery tracks that send energy forward along your line of travel. Practice drawing a line on the surface with your fingertips. Draw the line directly from exit to entry point, then back. Move slowly, keeping that line well outside your body. Keep your forearm relaxed, hanging like a rag doll. When you resume stroking, try to trace the same line from exit to entry. Keep the line wider than you think it should be. As with elbow circles, it will help initially to rehearse one arm, then swim focusing only on that arm. Then rehearse and focus on the other. For this rehearsal, visualize a mail slot and enter your hand through it. Again, it may be helpful to imprint one arm at a time. The mail slot should be directly forward of your shoulder and opposite the other elbow. Then rehearse bilaterally. Your hand will enter the slot easily. Getting your forearm through takes care. Pausing briefly can heighten awareness and precision. Keep both hands on their tracks. Enter opposite the other elbow. Don't move the lead hand until your fingertips enter the slot. When you swim with a mail slot entry, you should feel as if your hand drops into the water of its own weight. Your entry should be silent. Loosely separated fingers indicate a relaxed hand. Lesson 6 will teach you breathing skills that not only get your muscles the oxygen they need, but also make your stroke more powerful and effective. You turn over switch into whole stroke by including rhythmic breathing. If you've had difficulty with breathing or are breathing to a new side, these exercises can help. A good way to introduce seamless breathing is with small steps. As you practice overswitch, turn your head as if to breathe but stop just short of the air. With each stroke, get closer to air without actually breathing while feeling rhythm and ease. Though you don't actually take a breath, know you could with the smallest further movement. Then do. While nodding, focus on keeping a relaxed lead hand on a wide track. Try to leave it there just a bit longer than instinct suggests. When you do breathe, try to maintain that timing. While nodding, also notice how close the surface is, even having one goggle clear it without actually breathing. Then turn the slightest bit more to breathe. Finally, focus on your uninterrupted rhythm while nodding, and fit the actual breath into that rhythm. This exercise teaches you to rotate to a breath with energy from spearing your other arm. This can be most helpful when breathing to a new side. To work on left side breathing, skate on your left track. Do a right arm ear hop into a left breath and immediately return to skating. Try to take the same kind of breath you took while nodding, keeping a patient lead hand and your laser beam pointing forward. The key is to return to skating without interruption. This teaches you to breathe with no break in your rhythm. Pause again in skating to set up the next cycle. To practice right side breathing, begin and end in a right side skating position. Use a left hand ear hop to propel your rotation to air. Transition from skate and breathe to whole stroke as shown here. First, pause in skating for a few moments between cycles. While pausing, choose or review your focus, like laser beam or patient lead hand. Hold that as you breathe. As your focus takes hold, gradually reduce the skating pause between cycles. Gradually build to a continuous rhythm while executing your focus consistently. If you lose form, start again with longer pauses. Keep your laser beam pointing forward, never up. Keep the line from your head along your spine to your toes straight as you rotate to breathe. And keep your opposite hand on its track away from the center line. As your breathing skill improves, you may even be able to breathe with one goggle in the water. Breathe by rotating your torso. Your head should go along for the ride. As I spear my right hand forward, my left shoulder goes back. I simply follow that shoulder to the air. The open turn is most popular with fitness and recreational swimmers. Though you may not see Olympians do it, its greatest advantage is giving you enough air to travel farther on your push-off, helping you swim faster, easier. We'll show one version that provides more air and one that gives you plenty of air but is fast enough for racing. On your last stroke, roll to sweet spot. Let your head nearly touch your hand. Tuck your legs tightly, even crossing one foot over the other. Rock sideways to minimize water resistance. Then use an upturned hand to pull your shoulders down. Meet hands overhead as you plant in a side-lying position. Streamline to maximize your push-off. For the first 5 yards, streamlining underwater is faster than stroking on the surface. Pull bottom arm first while driving the other hand to its target. On your final stroke, spear to the wall in a sleek, straight line. Rock back on the same line and drop the top hand behind your ear. Drop completely under to avoid surface tension on push-off. In this transitional turn, breathe to the side instead of rolling to sweet spot. Head nearly touches your hand and one goggle right at the surface. Then drop under and push off as before. For the fastest open turn, keep your laser beam forward as you spear yourself into the sleekest, fastest approach. Your head will nearly touch your hand. Keep head-spine alignment and stay low as you rock back. Watch your hand as you release the wall. Drop your hand behind your ear like answering the phone, then drop under and push off as before. Notice head-spine alignment and how approach, turn, and exit all occur on a straight line. The key to speed and ease is a small radius of rotation. Initiate rotation by tucking chin to chest. Keep your legs outstretched and reach for your knees. Turn palms up and throw water past your ears to rotate faster. Keep hands by ears so you can streamline immediately as your feet hit. Streamline tightly to travel farther and faster. One dolphin just before stroking can increase breakout momentum. Stroking with the top arm first gives you more air while swimming for distance. Spear to your hand target on the first stroke to achieve your best body position immediately. For the fastest, easiest turn, keep your heels close to the surface and strike the wall with little splash. Break out forward to convert push-off momentum into swimming speed. Somersault straight over. Keep your line out of the wall. Here's another tip for distance swimming. Breathe on your last 2 strokes before turning. The extra air will help you push off farther and faster before needing to surface and begin stroking. Our first 7 lessons focused on reducing drag and imprinting efficiency. You can best use that foundation to build speed with a TI speed trainer as TI coaches do. Set the speed trainer to beep on a preset frequency, then tuck it inside your cap. With each beep, spear your hand to the targets you imprinted in earlier lessons. In this sequence, I increase my stroke rate by 1/10 of a second each time. But you can adjust in increments as small as 1/100th of a second. At each setting, allow a sense of leisure and relaxation to emerge. Then increase tempo incrementally and recapture that sense of ease. A good tempo to start with is about 1.5 seconds per stroke. My warm-up tempo is around 1.3. My racing tempo is about 1 second per stroke. I strive to remain as efficient at 1.0 as I am at 1.3. Learn more at totalimmersion.net. Among all strokes, backstroke places the greatest premium on finesse. This means that improving your backstroke can help make you a better swimmer all around. As you gain efficiency on your back, all your strokes will improve, but especially your freestyle. On this DVD, Total Immersion founder Terry Laughlin demonstrates backstroke for boomers, a style that's ideal for swimmers of any age or those who may be less flexible. TI coach Hash Al-Mashat demonstrates speed backstroke, an advanced style for those who may be younger or more athletic. And finally, several Total Immersion coaches show you how they practice our drill sequence. Our step-by-step instruction will lead you almost effortlessly from the most basic drill to swimming the whole stroke comfortably and without fatigue, and give you the foundation to swim with unprecedented speed and power. You'll learn faster and easier if you take the time to thoroughly understand each step. Learn to do each skill with ease, flow, and coordination before moving to the next. Let's begin learning. Butterfly has always had a reputation as a grueling stroke, but that's because so many people swim butter struggle. We'd like to change that by teaching you a style that is relaxed, flowing, and enjoyable. The drills and skills on this video will teach you to swim much farther without fatigue. They'll also develop the foundation to swim with unprecedented speed and power by swimming with your body instead of your arms and legs. You'll see two styles of butterfly here. TI head coach Terry Laughlin will show you a style we call butterfly for boomers, which is ideal for swimmers of any age. Terry used it to overcome 40 years of butter struggle and learn an efficient fly at age 55. TI coach Stefan Bill demonstrates butterfly as swum by those who may be younger and stronger or have more natural aptitude for fly. Our high-efficiency version of butterfly will help you maintain your stroke and speed for greater distances. Our step-by-step series of exercises is designed to lead naturally and almost effortlessly from the most basic drill to the whole stroke. You'll learn faster and easier if you take the time to thoroughly understand how your body responds to each subtle movement. Always focus on increasing ease, flow, and integration rather than trying harder. So let's begin learning. Breaststroke is the world's most popular stroke, but few people swim it efficiently. The secret isn't how you pull and kick, but how well you glide below the surface in a long, sleek streamline. On this DVD, TI founder Terry Laughlin will demonstrate breaststroke for boomers, which we've designed for swimmers of any age or those with less experience or skill. TI coach Stefan Bill demonstrates speed breaststroke, an advanced version for those who may be younger or more athletic. And finally, several Total Immersion coaches show you how they practice our drill sequence. Our step-by-step instruction will lead you almost effortlessly from the most basic drill to swimming the whole stroke comfortably and without fatigue, and give you the foundation to swim with unprecedented speed and power. You'll learn faster and easier if you take the time to thoroughly understand each step. Learn to do each skill with ease, flow, and coordination before moving to the next. Let's begin learning.
I've always wanted to have a pool. To me, that was my dream.
If you've ever dreamed of the perfect swim, for exercise, fun with your family, or relaxation at the end of the day, order a free DVD or video to learn more about the endless pool, your personal pool at home.
A regular pool, first of all, you have turns that you have to concentrate on. Here, it's endless. You're swimming in place, which is a great opportunity to be able to work on your stroke technique.
You know, I'll come downstairs and there'll be sometimes 7 or 8 kids in the pool, and they're always grabbing onto the bar, cranking it all the way up.
Indoors or outside,